Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope I have a voice that I can make it through today. This is John Myers. Yep, that's me, the sober Christian deadhead, who also identifies as a worship leader and also loves to talk about politics and investing and things that are pertinent to today's unusual world that we're living in. This talk today is very important because it's the follow-up to the one I just did that had a huge number of views. By the way, please like and subscribe. It's good for the algo on the channel, the algorithm. Also comment. If you would comment, whatever you want to say. If it's good, I'll keep it. If it's nasty, I'll get rid of it. Also, just know that I am not here to sell you anything, nor ever would I, in the description or the comments, sell you anything on the subject of crypto. I'm not asking for your money. I would never take your money. So if people come on and do that, those are fraudsters. But please like and subscribe if you like what you hear. This follow-up video is called Demystifying Crypto. And the reason I'm saying it like that is because I know there's still a lot of misconceptions about what it is, and there probably always will be, and maybe I have some too, but it's probably here to stay. And it's come of age. It's a good idea to know what we're talking about here because you will be affected by it no matter what. So if it's one of those things that's going to happen, you might as well be prepared, and maybe you want to participate. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to buy something. I'm recommending you look and learn, okay? If I throw out some numbers or particular crypto coin, it's only out of the fact that there's an interest, and I'm merely just following up on that interest. So demystifying crypto is a very big deal. There's a lot of FUD surrounding crypto. That's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And I believe it's supposed to be that way, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to start off this talk by saying crypto it's been around a long time, at least since 2014. And I think that it's actually a plan. I think that it has always been a plan to be the digital currency that we hear about. I believe that this is the way our currency around the world is going. For several reasons. For one thing, it's digital. It's not paper. It's not fiat, exactly the fiat currency. But also, it is possibly controllable or it's decentralized. You saw my talk several weeks ago about decentralization. Crypto is and can be, but not always is, quasi or totally decentralized. Decentralized means you cannot control it. There are many forms of crypto, okay? So everyone knows about Bitcoin. It's pretty decentralized. You know, it has computers that are not owned by any one company, all figuring out the massive algorithm that creates the Bitcoin. It cannot be faked. There's only so many of them available. I think it's 21 million, but I don't recall exactly. But that's it. That's as many as can be made. So the blockchain is probably the world's most intelligent way to verify something. The blockchain is the algorithm by which a transaction can be verified. There's long blockchains and there's short blockchains. There's blockchains that are controlled by companies. There's blockchains that are controlled by decentralized computers. There's a lot of difference there. When you look at the blockchain that possibly could end up becoming part of the central bank digital currency, you may have heard about that. CBDC. That's an attempt to stop using paper money. Okay, it's going to happen. I just don't think there's any way to stop it. It's getting harder and harder to get $100 bills, and they're going to be printing less and less of those. And they want people to use more and more plastic and digital currencies. We're already digitized, whether we know it or not. We are. So some of the demystification that needs to take place is one of the things, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FUD, is that you're supposed to be scared about it. I think we were supposed to be for a long time, because in the background, the world economies and the powers that be, I think, have always been moving towards crypto as their solution. And I think that we're purposely kept out of it for a lot of reasons. One of those reasons is they didn't want to have to participate or share with others with a lot of the blockchain information or the processing. I also think that there's an incredible opportunity to make a crap ton of money. And that because cryptos, some of them will go way up in value just because they're very useful. If something's useful, it has value. Or if it's scarce and useful, which a lot of the blockchains only produce so much of a coin and create their own scarcity. So if something is useful, has scarcity, it has value. There's just no way around it. It is that way. And I believe that we have been kind of kept in the dark because the powers that be wanted to keep that fear, uncertainty, and doubt, keep the general public out of what was going on. It's really hard now to keep us out because we have found out and we do great research and we know a lot about a lot of coins. By the way, my favorite coin is this stuff, God's money, silver. This isn't fake. It can't be faked. And there's scarcity, right? And there's value and there's use cases. Silver's probably the most single valuable element on the earth. There are more patents surrounding silver than just about anything. So keep that in mind as we're talking about crypto as an investment. It is definitely not the only investment. So let's talk about tokenization and what that is. So you might have heard the term tokenization. Tokenization is where a coin represents a physical entity. So let's just play some games here. You could tokenize just about anything. You could tokenize real estate. You could have crypto that represents the value of real estate. It is possible to do, and that's being worked on right now by several different coins. So that real estate transaction could take place in the metaverse, right, with cryptology. And that transaction would be blockchained, and it would be a secure transaction. It would not be faked. Okay, and that may be very good because we may be able to help eliminate a lot of fraud. That's one form of tokenization. But probably the most exciting form. Now, I was asked a question about ETF, what those are, versus a real asset. So there's gold and silver ETFs, and then there's gold and silver. So gold and silver is actual physical, it's real, you can hold in your hands. The federal government, through the SEC and other organizations, created gold and silver ETFs. That's electronic versions of this, okay? And what's happened, as an example, in the gold and silver market, if you have an ETF, you don't own the asset. You own a contract. You kind of have the right to the asset. You don't have the physical asset. And if you wanted to convert it back, you'd have to convert it back to cash, to US dollar. If you have an ETF on gold and silver and you ask for your gold and silver, you probably won't get it. Why? Because that market is oversold by several thousand%. Hard to believe. Let's say there's 800 million ounces of silver that are mined a year. Okay, that's about right. But there's many more than that are sold. And the reason is they're sold on what's called ETFs, which is a leveraged system that commodity traders and organizations and banks and financial, the COMEX, they oversubscribe and oversell what they have, and they're legally allowed to do that because they don't actually have to come up with the real silver. They just have to have the rights to it. So it's kind of a derivative, if that's what you want to call it, okay, back to crypto. The SEC, the federal government, they want to control crypto. And the way they do that is they create an ETF. Now, there is already, as far as I know, a Bitcoin ETF, which means you don't own the Bitcoin if you have the ETF. You have the right to it. I can hear it. Yeah. Can you hear it? They're going to oversell it again, oversubscribe it again. Well, the SEC would like to create control over it by commoditizing it and regulating it. And the way they do that is they create it into an ETF. So there are many coins that are being looked at right now as being in that ETF genre, because the government's seeing incredible usefulness in the coins. One of those coins that you hear a lot about is XRP, because XRP has the potential to be a transactional Bitcoin. In other words, its algorithm is very, very, it's very quick, where it processes as fast as a credit card. So it would be very useful, whereas Bitcoin's algorithm is so large, you wouldn't use it on store transactions. But if something is valuable, right, and scarce, because XRP is only so much coin available, and there's what's called a burn rate, which I don't want to get into here, but there's literally less and less XRP over the years. It burns itself. It's kind of weird, but it works. It creates scarcity. They could create an XRP ETF, because if they say this is the way we're going to do a lot of transactions, it has value, and it will go up in price. Okay, it will go up in price if that happens, most likely. XRP right now is about $2.18, I think. It's been as high as almost to $2.80 a month ago, and it's, of course, was pennies a couple of years ago. But think about that. What if you bought a coin? Now, really important point. When you tokenize the stock market, which they're actually talking about tokenizing the equity market, the stock market. Tokenization, what's so really interesting about tokenization, like a Satoshi is it's a term. It's a little bit of a Bitcoin. You don't have to have $94,000, which is about the Bitcoin price right now, to buy a Bitcoin. You can buy it with $50. You can buy a few Satoshis. Same with XRP. Same with a lot of the Dogecoins and everything that's out there you hear about. You can buy poquito, just a little bit of it. You can take $10 out of your wallet and go buy some. As opposed to, if you want to buy Microsoft today, what is it, $300 or $400? I forgot to look. $300 or $400 a share. You cannot buy poquito of a share of Microsoft. You have to buy the whole thing, or buy a contract to own it, or an option or something. So if you tokenize the stock market, whatever coins win that race, that coin's going to have incredible value, because then anybody could get into any portion of the stock market. Because it's tokenized, it will be definitely regulated and controlled at that point. But think about the possibilities. Think about the possibilities. So I'm going to move on to a really important thing. Don't ever give any of your money or any of your crypto to anybody who says they're going to make you more money. Don't ever fall for the scams that are out there, where if you send us this much, we'll send you that much, or join this group, it pays so much a month, and blah, 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 we're going to get you this much percentage. Those are 99% are scams. They are Ponzi schemes. And because a lot of the crypto world isn't regulated, there isn't maybe anybody to come after them. Okay, and you're going to lose your money. I have friends who've lost money. I have not lost money. I have friends who have said, John, guess what? I came up with $4,000 and I did this with it. And I'm expecting a big return. And I talked to him a couple months later and says, yeah, we're still waiting for our money. And it's like, they'll never get it out. And they didn't get it out. And that's more than one person. So you definitely don't want to do that. The smart investor, there's a couple of ways to own any asset. So this is going to be true of anything. And this is what I do, okay? So I'm just advice. You can buy and hold, okay? there's certain things that makes a lot of sense to do. Stocks, in my opinion, can be risky unless you're willing to buy and hold for 10 or 15 years to overcome a market crash like last time. You can dollar out, dollar buy out, buy dollar averaging, where you buy so much every month. Buy and hold is probably a little bit old now in terms of, does it really work? Do we have the time to make it work? Do we know how to withstand a huge market correction that is most likely coming up? Momentum trading is the way of trading through looking at charts and indicators of what's actually happening. In other words, you don't pay attention to the news, or not much. You don't take hot tips. Okay, what you do is you look at charts. And you can learn to do momentum trading. I'll probably put a couple links down to subscribe in the descriptions. Johnny Bravo teaches momentum trading. He calls it swing trading. I'll probably put a link to his stuff, or look up Jay Bravo. Great guy. Also, Economic Ninja, who I talk about all the time, has courses on that also. And by the way, the Economic Ninja has really, really helped me a lot. And I can help you, because I can tell you that through hanging around the right people, we have learned to multiply our lives, our holdings, our credit scores. My credit score is going through the roof. We've learned a lot about being ready for what's coming. You want to be out of debt. You want to have good credit scores. If you want to do anything investing, you want to be prepared. And I, there's a lot of doomsday predictions out there. Stock up on food and water and ammo and all that stuff. And maybe that's a good idea, but you also want to prepare for what if we're able to sustain. And this world's different, but there's opportunities that come up because the world's different. Crypto is one of those things. So momentum trading is looking at stocks from a strictly statistical analysis and on human nature of what stocks do. It's so predictable. It's like 90% predictable when you learn to bring all the indicators together. But you can do that with gold and silver and crypto stocks. You can go from one asset to another. Generally speaking, when Bitcoin's not going up, the altcoins are going up, and they kind of trade places. And you see a lot of that too in the stock market, real estate, and crypto. There's always something that's moving. And here's why. Because the big whales, those with the big money, the Black Rocks and big funds, they're going to put their money somewhere that's moving. Once in a while, it's bonds. But you'll go from stocks to bonds to gold to silver to crypto to real estate. It goes all over the place in different forms of all of those also. It could be ETFs, it could be altcoins, it could be Bitcoin. Momentum trading is not buy and hold. It's not day trading. It's looking at indicators as far as what's actually happening in the microeconomy of what you're looking at. And that's a whole other thing to talk about. But fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FUD, we've been kept away from crypto, in my opinion, for a reason. It has a very strong backbone. It is not going away. If you knew how big it was, the billions and billions, now trillions of dollars, they're actually valued in these different coins. That money's parked there for a reason. That money is there for a reason. And it's not a bunch of small guys like myself. They're going to lose their money, and then they're just ha, ha, ha. It's big money. There's big money. There's all kinds of shenanigans going on, of course, right? So don't forget about the last talk on crypto. I taught you about wallets, about the importance of getting a wallet, about, buy it on an exchange, whatever. Put it in a wallet, get it into cold storage. Just do a little at a time. Now, like and subscribe, and comments are important because if you have questions, I'll do my best to answer. I'm going to say one thing before I go. On my last video, somebody gave me all of their passwords to their crypto and said, can you help me with it? I deleted that comment. Can you imagine the responsibility I felt? Here's someone giving me their passwords on the comments. Everybody could see it saying, hey, I need some help doing this exchange. It's like, whoa, you don't want to do that. So I deleted that comment. Folks, that was not a very intelligent person. I don't need any of your particulars, but if you have a question, I'll be more than willing to help you out. I hope this helps you out. And don't forget, give to Caesar what's Caesar and give to God what's God. Okay? Talk to you later.